That might be the most cliched thing I've done, like, ever. Anyway, welcome to my after work special. Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. Now, for those of you not aware, pickle cravings are a very common thing to happen when you start taking HRT, or hormone replacement therapy, which is due to the spironolactone, which is your T blocker, as far as I know anyways, or as far as I remember. And I guess what I kind of want to talk to you guys about today was kind of where I'm at currently in my transition, and I guess my goals and where I'd like to go in the future. I guess the best way to start is to say, you know, I started my hormone replacement therapy on September 2nd of 2019, so I'm coming up on about a year and a half now, which has been great. I've had a lot of changes. My hair's gotten a lot softer, my skin's gotten a lot softer, my fat distribution's changed quite a bit, and the girls are starting to come in, so it's a weird thing. I actually used to sleep in a bra like all night, and my back would just kill every single day, but I would do it because I just felt so dysphoric and wrong, you know, without something on my chest. But now it's like I get home and I'm like, off. I can't deal with that anymore. But it was almost like it wasn't quite a switch, but you know, it was a very fast change for me, and much more healthy for my spine. Anyway, what I'm taking right now is an estradiol dermal patch, and I change this every 3 or 4 days. For me, it's usually on Tuesdays and Fridays I change it. This right here, if you can see right there, that is the generic brand, and it comes in these big old boxes. Normally I get 3 of these boxes at once. It's supposed to be for 3 months worth, and I do this because it's better it costs less on the dispensing fees, so it's going to save me money in the long term. Also, I switched from a name brand, which was about this big, like the size of a dime, to the generic brand, also for saving money costs. Now, I find that this big one, the adhesive is not like the super greatest. Like, it'll get super itchy when I'm nearing the end of it. If I don't apply it, like, and put pressure on it at first for a little bit, when I first apply one anyway, sometimes they peel. Like, I've had them actually fall off a few times, which can be annoying, but the way my endo described it, she said that this, using the dermal patches, they can be a lot easier on your, like your kidneys and your liver than taking it orally, which is great for me. I still don't drink enough water, and I drink way too much coffee, so, you know. And the other thing I'm taking is spironolactone, which I mentioned earlier. It comes in these big ones, which is a 3-month supply. Now these pills are like, they're not like super giant, but they're big and they are chalky. There you go. Yep. But hey. Now in total, I've been transitioning for about almost 5 years now. What happened originally was, when I first came out to myself and then to my closest friends and family, I pretty much immediately went full-time. It wasn't quite 100%, because there was a job that I had that I stayed in boy mode for the entirety of while I had that job before I moved to the city. But basically after that, I went 100% full-time all the time, and that was for at least 3 years. It's not a super common thing. I was just very lucky to live in a very accepting part of the world, Canada, and have a great support network of friends and family. And not everyone has that opportunity, not everyone has that privilege, as much as I am loath to use loaded terms like that. I don't like to politicize very much, or at all. You know, I like to keep up to date, I don't like to politicize anyway. That's topics for another day. But yeah. So I guess as far as goals go, right now I'm saving up to have my gender marker changed and my middle names changed. They're embarrassing, but that's just me. They're not actually embarrassing names. They're just embarrassing to me. So yeah, I'm getting those changed in the next couple months, and then I'm also saving for GRS, or gender reassignment surgery, or bottom surgery. And that's a big thing that I'm saving for in the next couple years. Something else I've been thinking about is a tracheal shave, which is exactly what it sounds like. They just you shave off that little nubbin. It's a thing that gives me a lot of a lot of dysphoria. It makes me really self-conscious. Probably the biggest thing after my voice, to be honest, but the idea of what it is, that operation, it kind of gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies, like a little bit more than even, the bottom surgery, because I have been reading a lot about these things and researching as much as I can, asking people, for their input, especially, other trans friends who've done this, who've gone through this procedure, and sort of inoculating myself against the whole thing. It's something to get used to, something to think about. The tracheal shape is something I'm obviously thinking about, but I'm not set on. I'm not for sure if I want it. For right now, I'm just going to worry about the two big things, the IDs and the gender marker, and my bottom surgery, eventually. For the name change in my province, it's actually going to be fairly easy. I just have to sign some forms, go in front of a notary with two friends who've known me for at least 2 years, sign that form, and then get it stamped, get a background check, bring all the necessaries to the government, and it's done. There's also a hefty fee, but that's most of the fee for the actual IDs. Since I'm only getting my middle names changed, it's $45 per name, and I have 2 of them. So, luckily, where I live, the gender marker change is actually 100% free. That includes the new IDs, printing the new IDs, which is amazing. It did take a little while for the province to sort of get this going, but now that it's here, fantastic. Yeah. Now, some things I've noticed about, another few things I've noticed, I guess, about being a year and a half on hormones is that, my muscle definition and strength has gone down, a lot. I have difficulty opening certain bottles, I don't have as much endurance and stamina as I used to, definitely not as much strength as I used to have, but emotionally, I feel more connected with myself. I feel a lot more attuned with who I am and who I want to be. It's been a lot better for my mental health. I currently see a psychiatrist for depression and anxiety, although I do slide between depressive and manic phases. This is just something I haven't talked to him about yet. The possibility of being bipolar. In general, I found that my moods have been easier to understand, to control, and when I get depressive, it's not that it helps it any better, but I know a lot of where it's coming from much of the time. A lot of it is dysphoria-based, that dissatisfaction with myself, but it gets better. The more I work on it, the better I feel. The more I work on myself, the better things get. And I suppose at the end of the day, that's all we can really do, right? No matter what it is that you need to, make yourself feel good and be your best self, I guess, 'cause that's what we all try. That's what we all want. Sorry if that was all, a little disjointed or whatever, because I did get back from work, so I am a little, frazzled, Anyway, so that's, I guess, a little bit about me, a little bit about my transition. I get blood work done every 3 months, And every time, like, I can't look, I get super, super queasy with blood work. My sister's the same way, too. Like, we both, like, ugh, like, can't deal. But I'm getting better and better with it. This is one of the reasons why that I've been trying to expose myself more and more to the necessary information and other people's experiences with bottom surgery, because, you know, invasive things like that, they do really, even something as simple as blood work, right, they do kind of scare me a little bit. And from experience, exposure therapy has worked on me. When I was a kid, for example, I used to be super, super scared of the dark. Like, I had a nightlight until I was, like, 12, but at a certain point, what I decided to do, because I was like, I'm getting older, enough is enough, and, you know, being scared of the dark is ridiculous. So what I did was, I went out in the middle of the night when everyone else was asleep, and I would just stand in the hallway in perfect darkness and just count down and count. See how long I can make it in the darkness. And just, eventually, they got to a point where I wasn't scared at all. And now, the darkness is my friend. Another big resource that I took advantage of was the internet. Our male to female MTF on Reddit. That was a great subreddit for me to trip across and find. Gave me a lot of information, and still to this day, I go on there. It's helpful to a lot of people going through a transition. And there's been a few other, you know, larger, bigger, content creators that I do follow that I really look up to and really enjoy. I'll link them below. I guess my biggest trans, influences and icons would be Natalie Wynn, or better known as ContraPoints. Her channel is fantastic. She does amazing content with immense production value. She's very, very smart, very entertaining. I know there's a big controversy going on right now about her, but honestly, like, I've looked into that, and I think it's, like, ridiculous and stupid. If you're interested to know about more, like, she made her own video about her controversy, which you should check out. Another big icon would be Claire Michelle, who's a musician and model based in Seattle, I believe. She's fantastic, actually. Does a lot of, like, handheld vlog style, like, walk and talks, which are really informative, really intimate, really great. Like, she's awesome. And another Canadian YouTuber who I'm a big fan of is Maya Henry. She does a lot of lifestyle stuff. It's cool and nice to watch, and it's more feel-good. I guess it's kind of, you know, three things on a different spectrum, but they're all, like, super gorgeous blondes, so it's like, I'm kind of having, like, a weird Hitchcockian thing about it, I guess. I don't know, when I think about it, like, it's kind of weird that, like, all my trans icons are, like, gorgeous blondes, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, I know this is very rambly, very freeform. I like doing freeform, but it won't be, hopefully, not as rambly next time. But thank you very much for tuning into my after work special. And I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.